understand that that looks really messy, but you're gonna deal with it. I have these blue light glasses on because I look absolutely horrendous without them right now, and I don't want to put on makeup. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought it'd be fun if I read popular books because I am nothing if not easily influenced, and that's how I ended up here with a boatload of books on my TBR card. For the rest of this year, you know, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I have a goal of getting as many of my physical books read. That's why we're doing this. We're gonna read popular BOOKTOK books. These can be recent, these can be old, and I say that because I've been collecting books for a while that I haven't even touched after buying them. I have 3 books that I've picked out for this video. So I have 3 books picked, but that does not mean that I'm going to stick to it because I'm a mood reader. So if throughout this week I feel like swapping one of the books out, I will. But for now, these are the 3 books that I have picked. First and foremost, I have The Fine Print by Laura Nasher, which is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. And if you know anything about me, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I don't read the back of the book. I buy solely based on the cover, and if I've seen someone give a review on this. I think what influenced me to get this book was a negative review that I saw, because sometimes these negative reviews are so creative that they just make me want to check out the book. And I don't remember what it was because I think I got this book like a year and a half ago, but I think someone was saying like it's basically Disney adults if they just never grew out of the phase. And I thought that was so funny. I am not a Disney adult, but I know that they own basically Disney, an amusement park. They own something. And then I saw that she's a cultured, diverse main character. And then after that book, I have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book I recently got. I've seen this everywhere. I haven't seen a single negative review about this book, and I don't even know what it's about. I think it's like the main characters are in 2 different timelines, and I don't know. I just know that every single person loves this book. And then lastly, I have Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is a YA book. I've never read an Ali Hazelwood book, but I simply got this because this cover is absolutely stunning. I'm sorry, but sometimes I love me a good fluffy YA romance, like better than the movies. Like, come on. And sometimes you need a book like this. So I think I'm gonna start with the fine print just because it's the thickest. But yeah, so I'm gonna start reading this book, and yeah, let's just start this reading vlog. Let's talk about this. Boy, oh boy, do I have a lot to say. I'm on page 156. I don't know what this book is doing to me. I think the first 50 pages were just kind of like a bore to me. Like I wasn't getting into the story. I didn't really care about either of the characters. But now it seems I cannot put this book down. When I put it down to do anything else, I'm just staring at it, wanting to read it. He's like low-key obsessed with her to the point where he made a Google Voice account to text her from that number. I also understand that I've never talked about the premise of this book or like what this book is about. So basically what happens is Kane Brothers' grandfather died, but when he dies, apparently there were these letters that he kept, and in order for these brothers to acquire their percentage in the company, they have to complete these tasks that their grandfather Brady had left for them. So basically what Rowan has to do, be the director of Dreamland, which is the amusement park that they own, and bring the magic back. He needs to come up with a new plan for the entire amusement park in 6 months. He hasn't drawn in a while. He doesn't create anymore. So we're at this point where he basically went up to the creators, which are this higher league employees who kind of come up with the ideas on how to make the park better. And he tells them that he has this project for 6 months and he wants to do this for the anniversary of the park. And so the creators are like, can we open up employee submissions? And he's like, fine, whatever. Mind you, he keeps going like, oh, these like minimum wage workers won't know a thing about creating. So obviously Zara applies. Zara cannot drop her shit. Zara has her own traumas that revolve around her creativity, but he's insanely grumpy, except for when he's texting Zara. He's basically like this whole other version of himself, and he's saying he likes the fact that this is the first time someone has texted him without the expectation of his last name being involved, and that's why he's doing it. But I'm like, sir, you are obsessed. I'm eating up this book. He also sat down and watched all 17 versions of Pride and Prejudice because she said that they were her favorite. I genuinely, as the hopeless romantic romance reader, think that is one of the most romantic gestures I've read in a book. So I'm gonna go continue reading. If something extremely juicy happens, I'll update you guys. I just want to say that this is going to be very niche. This is particularly just for the Desi viewers that are here, if there are any. This is giving like Rabne Bana Di Jodi. Hi besties. So I realized I've never given an update to you guys, and I'm on page 224. Why didn't anyone tell me this book was so good? I got to the part where he finally revealed, but he basically told her that he texted her from a different number. And this dude's like, I'm gonna prove it to her that I'm not some rich asshole kid. I don't know, I kind of really like Rowan. I kind of hated him in the first 50 to 100 pages, but like now I'm rooting for him, and I don't know when or where or how that happened. I just wanted to pop in for that update for you guys. For now I'm thinking maybe TikTok books aren't that bad, but then again I never thought that anyways. I feel like I haven't updated you guys in forever. I am on page 380, so I'm like basically almost done with the book. I only have this much left. There's been so much that went on, and I think I didn't update because I was just so caught up in everything, and I'm obsessed with this book. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's like such a fast read, and if you like start reading it, it's really hard to put it down. I'm really excited to see how Grandpa Kane ties into everything. We all know he was basically the mastermind. I just want to finish this book, so I'm gonna finish, and then I'll either talk to you guys today about my thoughts, or maybe tomorrow we'll sit down and discuss how I feel about the book. Okay, so as you guys saw last night, I finished the fine print, and let's talk. I'm taken aback at the fact that it took me this long to read it. I absolutely devoured this. I love this book so much. Ended up giving it a 4 or 4.5 stars. First 50 pages kind of dragged on for me. But other than that, I love this book. I love Rowan. The conflict from the beginning played a part for some of the stuff that happened in the end. The relationship seemed very genuine to me. So I think this video is really off to a great start. I don't know. And then I also like the fact that there was so much plot. And I went into this book, I thought that there would be like overshadowing of smut. There was so much plot in here that, first of all, the smut didn't even hit until you were like, I want to say like 70% into the book. Once it did come in, it wasn't too overpowering where it felt like it was taking over the story. But yeah, that's all I'll say on that. I just also want to say Rowan has raised my standards. Get you a man who books your favorite author for a signing just because he feels like it. I have 2 more books to pick from. Next, we have either The 7-Year Slip or Check and Mate. I think I'm kind of leaning towards 7-Year Slip, so I might start that now. Hold on, let me take this off. Why is this sticker still here? So I think I'm gonna start 7-Year Slip now. I have not read any Ashley Poston books. I know that Dead Romantics is by her. She also came out with a novel love story. But when this book was the rave, I literally could not escape it. So I'm excited to see how I feel about it. I feel like this might be a quicker read just because it is shorter than the fine print. I'm gonna start reading now, and I will come when I have a thought. I love this book already. Can I just read you guys the first paragraph of chapter 1? She goes, my aunt used to say, if you don't fit in, fool everyone until you do. She also said to keep your passport renewed, to pair red wines with meats and whites with everything else. To find work that is fulfilling to your heart as well as your head. To never forget to fall in love whenever you can find it, because love is nothing if not a matter of timing. And to chase the moon. Always, always chase the moon. We're off to a great start. It's been a couple of days since I last spoke to you guys because I just had a busy weekend, and now I'm back. I'm really tired. It's cold, thank God. The fall season seems like it's in full effect. perfect. It's beautiful outside. I have a hoodie on. I'm feeling cozy, but I also have a headache. So I think this is the perfect time for me to just sit back, read, put on a movie, put on maybe a horror movie, put on a classic something, I don't know, or maybe just put on a TV show. But I thought I'd give you guys an update. So last time I spoke to you guys, I'm pretty sure I told you guys that I was reading 7 Year Slip, or I was starting it. I am only on page 82, but this book is so good. I'm not gonna lie. The writing is beautiful and everything about it. I'm absolutely loving it. Basically, Clementine, she moves into her aunt's apartment 6 months after her death, and her aunt has always told her like, oh, this apartment is magical, but you know, just like every myth, she didn't really know to believe it. So she moves in and she remembers like there's 2 rules that her aunt always had, and the first rule is to take off your shoes, and then the second is to never fall in love, because this apartment warps time. You'll be living in the present, but then one day you'll just walk into the apartment and you're transported 7 years back. And her aunt said it's always 7 years. Clementine is single. She moves in. She's already dealing with the grief. She can't believe her aunt is gone. She's asleep, and then one day, literally, she just wakes up because there's a man who's like shaking her awake. And this man comes and he's like, oh, I'm Island. I'm subletting the apartment from your aunt. And she's like, what the heck, like this has to be a joke. And she realizes all the boxes that she had already moved out were already like unpacked. The apartment was back to how her aunt had it. So now she's interacting with this guy. So now they're just living together in her aunt's apartment, and she decided not to tell him that she's 7 years from the future. And then also, I think it's really cute, he calls her Lemon, and all the way in the beginning of the book, she bumps into this big chef. Her best friend wants to recruit into their publishing house. The first thing he says was lemon, but she thinks that he's saying it because of the dessert that they had ordered, which was a lemon pie. She goes, yeah, that's our dessert, but I gotta head out. And she like runs out, but then she's like, oh, why did he lean into me like he knew me? That's where I'm at right now. There's so many beautiful things written in this book, and I have a feeling that this might also prove to be a 5-star read. So yeah, I'm just gonna lay in bed, probably turn on a movie and read, and if I have any updates I'll let you guys know. That was my quick little update, and now we finish this video. Due for an update. I'm on page 192. I just got to chapter 25. I'm at that point where you just found out how, or like the reason that Clementine's aunt had died. That was not anywhere near what I was thinking it was. I literally had to sit up for that. I don't want to spoil anything, because I think that reveal, or like that part of the story, is so important to everything going on in here that things kind of just add up, you know, like it adds so much to the entirety of the plot. It's such an important factor, and I will not be speaking on it more, but that's crazy. But besides that, let's talk about the book. So I'm like a little over halfway. At this point, they've met IRL, which is like 7 years after their first meeting in the apartment. And I'm not gonna lie, this book is defying all things I thought previously about the past and the present, because all this time I've always heard people be like, oh, if you go into the past, if you mess with the past, then you're gonna mess with the future. But in this sense, the future has already happened, so her going into the past doesn't really change anything per se. While you have like the chapters where she's in the past as well, or like when the apartment takes her back to the past 7 years. You also have scenes of them now in person. She works at this big publishing house, and he's supposed to be an author that they're trying to get, but I feel like something had to have happened in the past for them to, you know, not speak. And apparently she said that he never even tried to find her. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to speak about it without spoiling anything, because this book is so good. I think this genuinely has potential to be one of my 5 stars. And also the quotes are beautiful. Do you see how much I've tapped this book already? I'm only like a little over halfway, and it's just so utterly romantic. Like the writing is so romantic. It's not even just the story itself, it's just like the way that this writing style is very addictive. And it's like, you, although it's just one POV, it seems like you're reading everyone's story, and I feel like that's really important when you're reading. But yeah, so I'm going to continue reading now, and I'll update you guys when I have something to say. Stop. I'm on page 262. I have a prediction. I swear if this is true, you guys are gonna see my reaction right now. I'm gonna keep this recording so you guys can see my reaction for the next few pages, because I need you guys to know that I predicted this, because I read one sentence and the whole book is coming into place for me now. I knew it. I knew it. I'm not even kidding. This book has me so... I don't even know what that feeling is, but I've finished the book. I just want to read this one line to you guys. It's kind of like a run-on sentence, but it's so beautiful, and I think it sums the entirety of the book. She goes, "And we laughed and charted each other's bodies down to our course, maps of places that were familiar and yet new. And the night was good, and my heart was full. I was happy, so happy, to fall in love on a night like this, where I felt like I had finally caught the moon and more." So as you guys saw, I finished the 70 Year Slip last night. Absolutely devoured it. Loved it so much. I don't remember exactly what I had said about it, but I do know that I was rambling about how beautiful it was. Still sticking with the 5-star. There are some things that I wish were explored towards the end. It's still, at the end of the day, I feel like giving 5 stars to a book is more so about a feeling that you get when you finish the book, as opposed to everything being perfect. I think this book was beautiful. It was perfect. Even with my little flaws, I don't think it would have made a difference to me. Like, this is still a 5-star read that I would genuinely give 6 stars to if I could. And while we're there, this morning I woke up a bit early and I was tossing and turning because I was just cramping really bad and I was in desperate need of a distraction. So I started reading Check and Mate. I'm not that far into it. I'm only on page 46, but it's so good. Not really much to say about it. Not much has happened. I think it's really funny because I didn't know that it was set in New Jersey. I didn't know this takes place where I'm from, because I'm from Jersey, and more specifically Patterson. The location accuracy doesn't seem very much. I don't know where Allie Hazelwood is from. I don't know if she's been in Patterson before. But the way that she's describing all the things that are going on in Patterson don't really seem like the Patterson I know. But story-wise, I am intrigued with the characters. I am liking the story. I think it's interesting. It's hooked me in. This is basically about Mallory, who used to play chess. I think the last time she played chess had to be like 10, or now it would be like 12 years ago. Her best friend tells her that there is this charity chess tournament and she just wants her to participate because she needs one extra person on her team. She hesitantly agrees because she apparently is someone who doesn't know how to say no to anyone. Nolan Sawyer is the biggest chess master right now, and he's also very young. He's 20, and apparently she had known him years ago, and she gets paired to play with Nolan Sawyer. So she plays a game, she beats him, and now this woman has showed up at her doorstep saying, "I will pay you to play chess if you participate in my fellowship and compete." And mind you, Mallory has not played chess for the longest time. Her father doesn't live with her, but somehow the woman who showed up at her doorstep knew her father's name. Her father was the one who got her into chess, or was encouraging her to play chess, and now that he's not there, she has the burden of taking care of her entire family. So she's taking care of her sick mother and her 2 sisters, younger sisters, and she is the sole breadwinner, I believe. So she's working this garage job, she's taking these extra shifts, and like her sole purpose in life is to support her family, and she is not going to go to college. So that's where I'm at. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you beat Nolan Sawyer." I'm assuming it's because it has to do with her father, because her father left, or something happened to her father, and she keeps saying like, "Oh, she stopped, and she was supposedly supposed to play ranked chess tournaments when she was 14, but she stopped playing when she was 13, I believe. So something happened in that year where she wasn't doing it. I think this book is going good, so I'm gonna continue reading. I think I will be able to finish this book today just because it is pretty fast-paced and it is pretty interesting. Yeah, let's go read. No, because you're telling me. She goes to visit him at his house. He opens the door and the first thing she says is, "You look like death." And the first thing he says is, "Mallory? Another dream, huh?" And then he goes, "You should come to bed. This is a stupid setup. I like it much better when we..." And she cuts him off. And then she goes, "You have a fever." And he goes, "Stay. You never stay." So she's nursing him in his apartment. So his grandfather left him this huge apartment in the city. So she goes, "This apartment he left you, it's big for one person." He says, "Want to move in?" She goes, "Sure, I'll sell my pancreas. It should cover the first 3 months of rent." He goes, "You don't have to pay rent. Just pick a room." I'm genuinely obsessed with him. She's mad at him. They're playing chess. And then she kisses him. She moves back because she's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me." He goes, "Touch take rule. You touched me. Can't stop now." I'm gonna stop giving you guys these little meaningless updates because I'm just gonna finish this book now. I am so giddy. I just finished Checkmate by Ali Hazelwood. So as you guys saw, last night I finished the last and final book of this challenge. I finished Checkmate by Ali Hazelwood and I absolutely devoured it. I love this book. I love Nolan Sawyer. He's everything to me. He's literally just the perfect, the perfect man. He has raised my standards. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like I say that about every book boyfriend that I like, but this one is just different. You can tell that even after this book, he's going to be just as obsessed with Mallory as he was in the beginning. I rated this book 5 stars. I'm still sticking to it because I cannot stop thinking about it. And as someone who played chess growing up, who absolutely loved it, who was in multiple chess clubs, it was just like cherry on top. Wrapping up this video, I read 3 popular TikTok books. I wanted to see whether they were worth it, whether we were just hyping up books for the sake of hyping up books. My conclusion though is these were totally worth it. I would 100% recommend all 3 of these to people who love romance genre. I literally found 2 5-star reads in this video, so I think that's pretty impressive for TikTok popular books. I think we should just not judge people for what they read. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog and stay tuned for more. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!